I made oxtail and neckbone quesabirra taco. Now, I know this is not the traditional meat that's used, but this is what I want to use, and this is how I made it. Half a yellow onion, 2 Roma tomatoes. I don't know what those chilies are. I don't know what those chilies are. But you can get it from your local Hispanic store, and you put it in the pot with some Mexican cinnamon, some bay leaves, and you're going to cover and boil it for 10 minutes, and you're going to heat up a cast iron skillet with oil of your choice. I use olive oil. You're going to season the hell out them oxtails. I use pink Himalayan salt, garlic powder, onion powder, pepper. I use some adobo, and you use the seasons you want to until your ancestors tell you to stop. But you season all sides, and you're going to sear that, and then you're going to season the neck bones with the same seasoning as the oxtail, okay? And you just going to sear it on all sides. You got to render that fat, baby, okay? The blacker the better, you feel me? The blacker the better. You take it all out, you put it aside, heat that cast iron up again. Don't let the skillet burn, because you don't want that smoke detector to go off. And you going to do the same thing you did with the oxtail. You going to sear it. And while you doing that, clean up as you go. Flip it over. Sear it again. And then you're going to take everything that was in that chili water, and you're going to put it in the blender. And you're going to take a cup of that chili water, and you're going to put it in the blender. And then you're going to take a cup of apple cider vinegar, and then a cup of beef stock, and then 5 cloves of fresh garlic. And some of these seasonings, I don't know, child, I just got them from the Hispanic store. And you're going to blend it right on up. And you want to make sure it's blended real well. Really, really well. And then you're going to strain it. This took a very long time. And they're going to use the rest of the beef stock in there. And you're going to season up that consomme, because you're going to dip your taco in that. Now, I added some extra seasonings, and I taste as I go. So I took some of the consomme out, and I cut it with some water and some tomato sauce. And I slow cooked in the crock pot for 6.5 hours. And just look how it came off the bone. I mean, off the bone. It's just bone at this point. And it's just so easy, so tender just to pull it apart. Just look at it. And then I added it back to the crock pot, let it sit overnight. Now we making some tortilla chips. You're going to heat up some vegetable oil. You're going to cut your tortillas in 4s, and you just going to let it fry. Let it fry till it get a nice golden brown. You're going to set it aside, let the oil drain off. And I'm using pink Himalayan salt, and I'm going to use a lime. That is it. Literally salt and lime. It's very simple, but it tastes so good. Just salt and lime. 2 ingredients. That's it. You just going to mix it all around, and you're going to taste it. For the start of the show, let's prepare these oxtail and neckbone birria tacos. Dip your tortilla in some of that consomme. Use the cheese of your choice. I'm using Monterey Jack. All right. And you're going to take some of that oxtail and neck bone, and you're going to put it on there, and you put your consomme in the little cup with some onions, and you cut up that cilantro real nice, and you're going to put the cilantro on the consomme, and your consomme should have a little bit of meat in it. All right. And then you're going to garnish it with some onions and some cilantro and the quesabirra tacos, and you want it to have a nice crunch on that hoe. And look at it. Dish wouldn't be complete without some salsa verde. There it is.